Hey there, my name is Jonas and today I'm gonna tell you how you can prepare your PLCnext in order to use it with our FourZero programming environment. So the first thing you would have to do is you would have to install the latest firmware, or at least there must be firmware 2019.3 installed on your PLCnext. Otherwise it won't be compatible with the FourZero app. So in order to do so, you have to head to this website, which we will provide the link to in the video description, and download this file. I won't do that now because I already did so. And after you successfully downloaded the firmware, it will provide you some exe file, which will then be some self-extracting container. You saw that you got a security warning, but you can just hit OK, accept the license agreement, and then you can just use the standard folder and install the firmware to this standard folder. What it will do, it will just extract the firmware file and some PDFs to the location you just specified. So if we check this folder, we have now change notes PDF, and we have the firmware file, which is this one. So now you have to go to the web-based management of your PLCnext. You can access that by going to the IP address of your PLCnext. In our case, that's 192.168.8222. You will be automatically redirected to the web-based management. If you access this web page for the first time, you would have to provide your user credentials. So you have to log in with the admin account, and you have to use the password that is specified or that is printed on top of your PLCnext. So just log in, and then you can go to administration, firmware update, and then just go to then just browse, and you can select this file. After selecting the file, hit the Start Update button. I will not do that now because my PLCnext is already up to date. After the installation has successfully completed, you can also check here under General Data. You will find a firmware version 2019.3. So that's it for installing the latest firmware. Now we have to do the firmware configuration. In order to do so, you would have to download and install PLCnext Engineer from the Phoenix Contact website. We will put the link to the PLCnext Engineer download in the video description as well. I already installed PLCnext Engineer version 2019.3, and I will create now a new 2019.3 project. As for now, it's not possible to create a firmware configuration out of FourZero. For later versions, this will also be possible, so you would not even have to use PLCnext Engineer. But for now, we have to tell the PLCnext which modules are connected, and that's why we have to use PLCnext Engineer. So first thing you have to set up is the IP address of your, or the IP range of your project. So we are using the 168.8 subnet, that's why we need to change that here. It depends on your PLCnext firmware configuration, on your PLCnext IP configuration. If you did not change the IP address, you will not have to do those modifications. By the way, if you want to change your IP address of your PLCnext, you can just access the PLCnext etc network interfaces file, and there you can modify the IP address, the static IP address of your PLCnext. So after we change the IP address of the device, we can now go to the configuration itself. So here in the office we have the PLCnext starter kit. PLCnext starter kit consists of the main controller AXC F2152 plus digital in, digital out 8 module and some analog in, analog out module. So you see that you on the right hand side under components, network, axial control, you can just choose the modules that you have connected to your PLCnext and then just drag and drop it to the axial line bus. Make sure that the order in which you drag and drop it, or the order of the list, is the same than the order of your devices. You can also check that here in the settings. Here you see that for me analog I/O is number 2, whereas digital I/O is number 1. So this is all for the firmware configuration. Now we can go to our controller settings, cockpit, and first connect to our controller. Again, we have to use the user admin and the same password than we were using before. So you see now we are connected to our controller, and now we could write and start this project to our controller. Writing and starting the project would in this case just mean writing the firmware configuration. Okay, so that's it for the firmware configuration. You see that the project is written, it's now running again, and we're good to go. So the next thing would be to install FourZero. For this you can head to the PLCnext store and first thing, if you head to PLCnext store, is you can create a user account. You have to register to ProfiCloud, and then you have to register for PLCnext store as well. After creating an account, you can just log in with your user credentials, and then you're good to go. So if you created your profile and you're logged into the PLCnext store, then you could go to your profile and then you could check all of your devices. So we currently have 3 devices at the office. For you, if you create a new account, it will be 0 devices, of course, and then you could just add a new device. So here you have to provide a device ID. You find this device ID again in the web-based management of your Profinet device, ProfiCloud device or PLCnext device. So under configuration, ProfiCloud, you see here UUID. You can copy that and just paste it in here. Then you can specify some name. and you could also add some description and then hit the add button. I will not do this because our device is already registered. So, right, as soon as you have a device, you can now purchase FourZero and get started. So you can go back to the start page of the PLCnext store and you can search for the FourZero runtime app, which you find, in our case, we directly find it in the promoted section. So you can go there, you can read the description, and you could also buy or request a free trial. If you hit the buy icon, then you could buy it and directly install it from the next screen. If you have more than one device, you could also select which devices the app should be installed to. After you have successfully installed the FourZero app onto your device, you will be ready to go, and you will now be able to program your device within the FourZero IDE. So that's it for today. I hope you liked the video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.